Well, I ate a hamburger and then I died.
These cows on a North Carolina dairy farm are being forced to wade through their own waste just to eat a meal.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip.
The magazine is out this morning with a study looking at pesticides in 48 fruits and vegetables. It finds that 17 contain high or very high levels of pesticides.
Is it supposed to be stupid?
It's not stupid. It's advanced.
Industrialized agriculture is the foundation of agriculture today, with such healthy habits as spraying toxic pesticides on or near our food, using synthetic fertilizers filled with nitrates and phosphates that make fish stop breathing in the Gulf of Mexico, eroding the soil, and fossil fuels are its freaking life support system. Essentially, it's like that one SpongeBob episode where Mr. Krabs harvests a ton of jellyfish for the monies he can make. Just replace Mr. Krabs with a bunch of soulless factory workers, often immigrants, his peddling machine with a coal mine's worth of fossil fuels, and pump the jellyfish full of steroids, and you've got a pretty good picture of the life cycle of an average chicken nugget. Clown Town, the Ketchup Packet, Constipation Nation, my dad's favorite coffee shop, everyone else's favorite coffee shop, best known for Twitter, Racist Meat Man, and even my favorite restaurant, are all just a few of the oodles of instantly recognizable fast food chains that might be putting maggot eggs, or, more likely, unnatural dyes in your spicy chicken sandwich. Not saying they are, just saying, they might be, they could be, frickin' please don't sue me. You gargle, having just survived the near-death experience of choking on a waffle fry. I'm getting real tired of your schmuck. What are all these supposed ingredients gonna do to me anyway? Kill me? Nah, that'll be the life-threatening diseases you extract when you eat this crap. Sodium nitrate in meat? Cancer. Butane in chicken nuggets? Cancer. This thing in bagels? Asthma. Blue number 2 in select candies? Possibly brain tumors. Those yellow dyes that got removed from mac and cheese? Cancer. Anything with trans fats? Increased risk of heart attack. And propylene glycol of salad dressing, better known as my favorite drink, antifreeze! Okay, so I might get a little sick, you admit. Kind of. But thankfully, food labels exist, so only the ignorant will get a heart attack. Well, my finicky fricker, I wish I could safely say your presumption is correct, but since some corporations are as boneheaded as our world leaders, they've managed to fricking bamboozle food labels! I don't even have to mention the labels with some whack frickin' ingredients with these hard-to-spell fricking names. Show me another sodium stearylactylate, and I'll show you how much violence one can commit with an egg beater. Similarly, there's the vague food labels with titles like natural or grass-fed. Everything is natural, and cows could be eating other things even if grass-fed, so I'm gonna shove 2 chicken fingers down my throat if I see another one of these friggin' labels. Or the actual ingredients are vague themselves. Take this canister of off bug spray for example. Though the extent to whether or not this is food is debatable, one can see here the ingredient list contains 25% DEET, whatever the frick that is, and 75% other. Now, I recently conversed with my local pediatrician on the matter, and she confirmed to me that this ingredient list is, complete horse discharge. I don't know about you, but withholding 3/4 of the ingredients in a product, and only including an ingredient that sounds like a freaking anus fluid, isn't the best marketing strategy. While I can confirm off isn't inherently bad unless it's in your eyeballs or you have 6 legs, the only label strategy more stupid would be to just withhold the frickin' food label altogether. Whoa, look, an inconspicuous transition. Hey, in case you wish to vent your bottled up public outrage, here's a site showcasing the companies that might be hiding ingredients in food labels or just fricking them altogether. Now, considering the only reason you'd want to remove a food label would be because there's something disgusting or deadly in there, make your own conclusions. So, if the food label's too vague, too complicated, too weird, or too non-existent, just assume it's flesh-eating maggot eggs and feel free to ingest in any quantities as needed. Okay, fine! No food labels! You give in, searching your mind for a valid argument. But there's still always that good old competition when Jack in the Box advertises this new sunscreen-flavored ketchup. Indeedity-do, you capitalist swine. The fruit of your entrepreneurial wonderland are that a bunch of walking comb-overs get to sell you their business cards and tobacco-scented perfume instead of just one steaming monopoly. Until they're not. Turns out food monopolies are a thing. A very prevalent thing, in fact. In the words of some MSU professor I googled, at almost every key stage of the food system, 4 firms alone control 40% or more of the market! Monsanto owns 24% of the international seed market. Tyson's got a 25% US market share of meatpacking. 4 companies control this much of this stuff. Nestle hosts over half of all American dry cat food. Dean Foods and Dairy Farmers of America operate 80 to 90% of the milk supply chain. Pepsi owns all of this stuff. Ah, yes. Capitalism. And these trusts to be busted aren't jolly chaps who tap dance to your door and grant you a free coupon to Cracker Barrel. Through the power of lobbyists, lawyers, bloodthirsty mascots, and whatever price fixation is, the food monopolies will try to drown out any competition and have their own way to make sure they're the hump of this pile of capitalism. Now, farmers, am I right, spitting their chewing tobacco into the ring, have to battle mega OP economic juggernauts who can drive down their prices and force the farmers to drive down their prices, lowering farmers' cash money raked in and even shutting them down in some cases. But in case you don't care for those straw hat, pot-bellied hillbillies who are the reasons you have food, don't worry, you also get screwed. Less companies flashing advertisements into your eyeballs means less alternatives to go to when your go-to foodifier jumps the shark or sprinkles poison in your kid cuisine lunch meat. And when farm prices hover upwards like an unnatural force, companies are much more likely to go yee-haw and board the bandwagon with a cost jump than they are to give you discount coupons when farm prices plummet. Okay, fine! You screech, your head bursting into flames. You're right! We and our food are freaking screwed! Well, about that. Yeah! Buy organically, locally, or just from generally trustworthy food dudes if you give a frick. Otherwise, continue supporting dangerous food ingredients and the destruction of your capitalist society. On second thought, I don't give a frick. Where'd all the good people go? So, say you've got a bottle and a bucket of ants. I don't know how or why, maybe Jesus gave them to you for some divine purpose or some drivel like that. So, like the heartless monster you are, you've decided that, for every day for the rest of your life, you will add one unlucky creepy crawler to this plastic prison to forever scuttle about as the victim of a Bill Nye-esque horror experiment. Now, for the first few time units, likely no problems. Feed 'em, water 'em, watch 'em bang, the essentials to caring for any living creature. Maybe a few gritting the dirt from lack of oxygen, but that's about it. After a while, however, you may notice that they'll be getting less resources because there are more ants harping for individual needs, the leechy friggers. You think, that's odd, then shrug and walk off. You wake up the next day and make an observation in your laboratory notebook that a clump of dead ants forms the floor of the bottle. Now, so long as you've been properly keeping your insects up to snuff, this ain't due to bad parental supervision. It's the carrying capacity, aka the max amount of creatures of your species that can be spawned in your region. You can go over it and survive with difficulty for a little while, but nature's just gonna keep stabbing you with a pencil until you repent, and a bunch of your species members drop dead to go below the invisible line. Humans are the same way. At the time of writing this, there is 7.7 billion juicy, meaty, furless land dwellers writhing about like grubs, which is kind of a lot considering it only reached 1.6 billion in 1900 after dragging its feet for 300,000 years. Contrary to popular belief, the population isn't snowballing so fast due to truckloads of babies squeezing through tight orifices because mommy and daddy are getting jiggy on the bed frame. Rather, it's due to the death rate careening downwards due to increased food supplies, world domination, and vaccines. Overpopulation has elephantine effects in the fact that it directly mushrooms the amount of resources being used and required by our greedy species. I know I ain't helping this mess due to the garbage disposal vortex that is my massive dump-taking stomach, but I'm just one unit of this massive ball of flab that sucks up everything in its path, leaving behind it a trail of excrement and dead cow skeletons. But at least I ain't one of the 795 million people who lacks enough food! Since overpopulation will most definitely increase this number, I propose we instill a program that gets our overweight citizens to involuntarily sacrifice themselves as a new source of calories and nutrients to help feed those who need it most. Along with that, all of these freaking fender benders that are fender bendering nature get amplified because there's more humans freaking stuff up. So, in the words of Hugh Jackman, I see dead people. No, words not actually spoken by Hugh Jackman. Now, a popular counter is that humans can actually increase the carrying capacity through the power of science! And, though science is a powerful tool that's permitted us to chart the cosmos and devote faithful religions to Shrek, technology does have its limits, and we don't know the extent to which it can support the wriggling masses of accented land dwellers inhabiting our planet. Alright! You roar radically, revving your machine gun with bloodlust in your teeth. Say the word and I'll bring this population down like a duck! Let's not. Instead of growing the death rate like a crazed mustachioed dictator, stuff like family planning, screwing poverty, and giving hot babes rights in those countries that still worship sweaty man boobs for some reason actually will slash the birth rate, sparking a gradual downscoot of the population to the point where a safe population decline may well happen without having to commit mass murder. Honk. Or just revive the bubonic plague. I've always wanted to be sucked off by a leech. Now I gotta cut loose, foot loose. No, this is not the result of the Jolly Green Giant going a size up in Adidas. Basically, a large ecological footprint is the equivalent of you roundhouse kicking your landlord in the stomach and plundering a bunch of her property before she can get up to fight back. Ecological footprints measure how much pain a society inflicts upon their home planetoid on a scale measured by how much trees are chopped, plants are cropped, pants are dropped, and steaks are slopped into the mouths of obese consumers. Basically just how much of the planet's resources it takes to fund a society. Now, when scrolling through the Wikipedia list like a cheaty little 8th grader on his historical figure ABC right, refer to the total biocapacity if you want to know how much your country is killing the planet. The lower it is, the crappier your country. Eco-footprints get hyperinflated by high populations, nefarious biome-destroying technologies, and the amounts of money-loaded misers spending their oodles of booty on stuff that'll plunder the ecosphere like a suicidal pirate gang. The countries with the largest eco-footprints can safely say they're mega-skilled at destroying the environment. For example, if the entire human population lived like the average American, we'd need over 8 Earths worth of resources to sustain our population in the long run! However long a long run is. If we want to cut down how much ecological debt our huge frickin' footprints cause, we can make like a banana and reduce how much environment we destroy by tackling all those other frickin' problems. Easier said than done, but it's possible if your populace knows what's up and your lawmakers don't suck. I'll give you my dirty little secret. Dirt. What fosters earthworms and memories also hosts the nutrients that make your plants grow up nice and strong before you pluck them out of the ground and scarf them down your greaser so you don't get hemorrhoids. Until something wetter, blowy, or human-derived arrives and carries the soil to a place where the grass doesn't grow. Then we've got ourselves a problem! Soil erosion happens naturally when it gets scrubbed and bubbled by water or whooshed away by Jesus' breath. But it also happens plenty of times through farming, including walking meatloaves kicking it up or overgrazing it. Planting your cash crop repeatedly right there until it sucks up every nutrient, and removing overhead plants weighing down the soil. Bah, it's just a little dirt, you muse, squeezing a ball of dirt that fails to get on your stick figure hands. Actually, it's a lot of dirt. According to the EU, the EU has a landmass the size of Greece in eroded soil alone. And other countries like Brazil, or that country above Mexico, aren't necessarily erosion-free either. But why is erosion bad? Isn't it natural? Why, yes, it's natural. But it stops your freaking fruit from growing! That's what's bad! Erosion essentially either depletes vital nutrients from topsoil that plants need to survive, or just fricks the soil altogether so that if you plant something on it, it'll just frickin' droop. On a small and local scale like your yard, this may not spark a problem given food doesn't only come from your egomaniacal coconut growing neighborhood. On a large scale, however, you've got yourself potential for a mass famine cause the food plants won't grow. Knock knock, Ireland. Erosion sparks more than just affecting your dirt and stopping crops from frickin' growing on it, however. It can also go pollute waterways if it rallies enough sedimentary troops, which can block fish routes and frickin' kill turtles or something. Tilt houses and make them plummet cause the land beneath them's crumbled away. Or even cause desertification! Desertification is name explanatory. You take a cool ecosystem like a jungle or forest, and you take its naturally rich forest soil or whatever, and slowly suck the nutrients out to make it stupid frickin' desert soil. So, sand. This will make your naturally gnarly ecosystem transform into a stupid frickin' desert, where none of the original species can frickin' inhabit it. Indeed, as if the Amazon rainforest ain't going through enough crap in its life right now, it is currently being desertified because people are chopping the trees down for the dumbest places to put soybean plantations and, henceforth, eroding the frickin' soil. Also available on the market are soil salinization and waterlogging, caused by irrigation filling your soil with salt or water to the point where plants die. That's also pretty bad, I guess. But, while your food and dirt may be in jeopardy at the moment, there is such an overabundance of potential solutions that the problem really shouldn't exist, including crop rotation, polyculture, hydroponics, letting the crop growing area alone a few years so the soil can regenerate its nutrients, and a buttload of sustainable farming techniques that I'd love to explain further if I actually was a farmer. Just trust me. Soil good, erosion bad. It started when an alien device did what it did.
It stuck itself upon his wrist with secrets that it hid. He's Ben 10.